We on? Oh, we're on. Hello. Welcome to Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We made it this far. Hello. How are you? We're here. Show 176 on the 26th of January, 2021. Thank you for stopping by. I have lost all faith in the ability of this technology to actually count the viewers, so I'm just going to assume y'all are out there. If you make noise, and it'll be easier for me to figure out to assume that y'all are out there. Didn't get around to tuning, but I did manage everything else. Also, I'm beginning to see this tuner needs a new battery because it's beginning to get dim. And it's not because I am going blind, although by all accounts, that's also happening. So yesterday, I did two pretty much new songs. One brand new song that I literally wrote that weekend. And the second of which was a song that was fairly new to me called Tomorrow, which I'm still working through. And that worked out pretty well. But it's Tuesday, and we had some interesting and exciting, weird, problematic things happening. So I'm actually just going to do a bunch of songs that I'm really comfortable with. And we'll just go from there, because I can. Let me just adjust a couple things here on the technology side of things so I can see, because I'm getting older and my eyesight's not as good as it used to be. That's about as good as that's going to get there. Open that up some. Like I said before, I've told y'all before, I use Evernote for a lot of my stuff, and Evernote changed its interface, so it's now very confusing, but that's all right. We're going to do some Buffett to start with, and I still have I'm building up the case for my thesis statement that Jimmy Buffett has composed a number of his songs on an ukulele. Because there's a lot of songs really easy to play on the ukulele when you're at my talent level, which is to say, negligible. Especially the jazzy stuff. The jazzy stuff is pretty darn good. This one has got this really neat progression of D, then F sharp 7, which sounds like hell, but it looks like it should be hell, but it's really just the E7, but barred like this. So it's actually take E7, just knock it up to 2 frets. Here we go. E, F sharp major, B7, then E7, then A7, which is like, you know, you're home free once you get to A7. So that's how we're gonna go. Now they make new movies in old black and white, with happy endings where nobody fights. So if you find yourself in that nostalgic rage, honey, jump right up and show your age. I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind, a two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket, and an autographed picture of Andy Devine. I remember being buck-toothed and skinny, writing fan letters disguised neat penny. Well, I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, then I could solve some mysteries too. Well, it's a bandstand, Disneyland, growing up fast, drinking on a fake ID. Well, the Rama of the jungle was everyone's Moana, and only jazz musicians were smoking marijuana. I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, then I could solve some mysteries too. But it's a flat top, dirty mop, copping a field, grubbing on the living room floor, so sore. Well, they send you off to college, try to gain a little knowledge, but all you want to do is learn how to score. Well, now I'm getting old, I don't wear underwear, I don't go to church, and I don't cut my hair, but I can go to movies and see it all there, just the way that it used to be. I said I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind, a two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket, and an autographed picture, a bandit of mine. I could be anything that I wanted to be, maybe a Swave Errol Flynn or the Sheik of Araby. If I only had a pencil-thin mustache, then I could do some cruising too. Yeah, Brill cream, a little dabble do ya, I could do some cruising too. Hey there, Looks in 1, 2, 3. My week has been eventful. Cat. Yes, I know, cat. I have a cat being heckled. I'm being heckled by a cat, but that's par for the course. My week has been eventful, and by eventful I mean this. Those of you who were here a couple of weeks ago know that I got secondary exposure to somebody who had been primarily exposed to COVID-19 at work. So I had to stay home for 2 weeks as part of that protocol for work. And turns out that person actually got diagnosed with COVID-19. So they shut the whole dang office down for a week and everybody's working remotely. Last week, I went in to do the things that I have to do when you're a desktop computer nerd and you have to physically be in the building for it. And then one of my coworkers said, I'm not going to be in on Monday. Send an email about 1 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm not going to be in. I'm at the clinic. And then about a half hour later, oh yeah, I've been diagnosed with COVID-19. So we get to shut down the whole dang office again for another 2 weeks as of Monday. And I get to stay here for that 2 weeks, although my exposure to him has fallen under the negligible category as far as all the healthcare professionals that we have contacted and spoken with have diagnosed. But it still annoys the heck out of me. I just barely got out of self-quarantine for 2 weeks, and now they want to self-quarantine me again. But I am maintaining a positive mental attitude toward the whole darn thing. It just means that all the stuff that we were going to do gets pushed back 2 weeks because, well, we are in a pandemic. Please. Yeah, thank you. Yes, my lovely wife also amends. And people are stupid. There are a lot of dopey people out there, some of them being more willfully stupid than they really need to be. Be safe out there, okay? Be careful. Mask up if you have to go out. Don't go out if you don't absolutely have to go out. And if you do, please be safe because theoretically there's still more of us than there are of them, and I'd like that to be the case in another few months. So that's how my week's gone. How's yours? And so yesterday I did 2 brand new songs, and today I'm just doing songs that I'm comfortable with because, well, I think we all need that. Like this one. I love this song. This song was inspired back last year. You know, it's almost a year since I've been doing this. Started doing this thing, which is really bizarre when you think about it. But I literally said, screw it, I'm going to do something here because I'm stuck. This was right when everybody was like, we're locked down for 2 months, so we're just going to be here. And then after 2 months, it'll be fine. Yeah, that did not go as planned for various reasons. But I saw this cartoon, this comic strip over here. He said pointing in the right direction, which is from Cat's Cafe. They were on like a bunch of social media stuff. They've got their own website on Tumblr. They've got you can find them on Twitter. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them. Yeah, and it's a really wholesome, nifty comic strip. And it inspired this song, which has very much got the kind of fish, kind of early Jerry Garcia could play this song for like 3 hours, kind of vibe. Platypus Postman, Platypus Postman. Neither rain nor snow, nor sleet nor hail can make the Platypus Postman fail. Even in a flood he's still not stuck, 'cause the Platypus Postman swims like a duck. Platypus Postman, Platypus Postman. Even through the mud they can't be beat, yeah, they never sink because of their webbed feet. 3-hour drum solo. Not a dog will chase him or leave a mark, 'cause the hounds are too darn confused to bark. Platypus Postman, Platypus Postman. New verse. In the gloom of night he'll safely walk, 'cause the Platypus Postman glows in the dark. It's the darndest thing that you've ever seen, for the postman's bioluminescent green. Everybody! Platypus Postman, Platypus Postman. In the coldest rain they won't demur, they're protected by their thick coarse fur. Of all the post carriers on the scene, only one of them is a monotremes. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. Platypus Postman, Platypus Postman. Believe in the Platypus Postman. He's got my mail. Platypus Postman. Pretty ending. Puggle, yes, that is, Claire, if I'm correct, that is a baby platypus. It's a puggle. Platypi are so cool because they have the DNA of mammals, avians, and reptiles. I mean, it really is the what do you got stew of genetics. And yes, the glowing is a thing. Now, I do know that there are, I think it's the male platypi have venomous spurs in their flippers or their elbows or something along those lines. I haven't figured out how to work that in, and I will see if I can get Puggle in there too. Turning this into one of those songs that just goes on for freaking ever. Which is okay, because sometimes, like you say there, JD, we need wholesome stuff in the world. We're getting more wholesome stuff. It is slowly coming back in. We just have to get the other stuff out of there. He said brandishing his ukulele in exactly the wrong way for use as a hand-to-hand combat item. Although, honestly, I think this way is better because you've got a fulcrum right here. And you can just swat with the big part like that. You know, if you hold it up like this, all of that stress is coming down right here where your lower hand is more than anything else. And it's very likely to snap at that point. These are very important things that we should consider for your day-to-day, for your work in Bard. And by Bard, I mean AD&D First Edition Bard, the difficult one. We're getting more, yes, we are getting more wholesome stuff on back order. A lot of wholesome stuff. Now, I will admit, the next song is not exactly wholesome, but it is broadly slapstick, which is entirely in keeping with its subject matter and the inspiration for same. You see, in the Texas Renaissance Festivals, there is a gentleman known as Oscar Hasselhoff, German Master of Defense. And he teaches classes in various weapons, including my personal favorite, the Grossen knife thing. Grossen something like. Yeah, well, you gotta understand something. I was there when the old magic was written. I am that old. I remember when it went from Dungeons and Dragons to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. There's a whole story behind that which you can look up on the interwebs. It is very odd. So yes! Alright, that's it. My audience has become more interesting than I have. Oh, well, that's fine. So, Master Hasselhoff he does a tournament of champions. He also teaches fighting classes. Bring for an adult class and a children's class. Bring your violent children. And he wrote and composed what is known as the Hasselhoff maneuver. Yeah. I don't know, Claire. How I have really, y'all are kind of in my demographic, but my demographic is so all over the place. I don't even notice anymore. But it is Oscar Hasselhoff who created the Hasselhoff maneuver, which is grab them by the crotch and throw them out the window. Now, about April of last year, it's like I really want to do something with that, and I came up with a happy little tune, happy song. So happy and sweet and wholesome, but also violent. And so I have to sing it. This is Bavarian accent. Completely unjustifiable Bavarian accent, yeah. I was gambling in Helsinki, down upon mine luck, owed a lot to these big Flemish guys. I felt that I was stuck. I thought I was a goner, sure surrounded by mine foes. Then I remembered Hasselhoff, and he solved all mine woes. For he wrote in his informative pamphlet over here, just grab them by the crotch, once and throw them out the window. A lovely way to get above whatever makes you blow. Just grab them by the crotch, once and throw them out the window. It's amazing what a little flick of wrist and arm can do. Well, I made my way out of there and I fled down to the bar. I happily sipped lager, maybe 2 or 15 jars. Some massive Swedish mercenary spoke ill of my ma. I did not think I could escape this peril quite unscarred. Once then I remembered the informative pamphlet, which I had purchased mere months ago from Oscar Hasselhoff. I asked the German mercenary to wait just a moment there, Mr. Swedish person. Flip through the pages. Oh yes, this is how it goes. Just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. A lovely way to get above whatever makes you blow. Just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. It's amazing what a little flick of wrist and arm can do. I had gathered quite a crowd by the great feat I did perform. I ordered me another round, for I had grown quite warm. When time to pay the bill came, pleas for credit were all scorned. And though I tried to stand mine ground, mine fate was quite forewarned. For it turned out that they had actually hired this guy right here, Oscar Hasselhoff, temporarily between jobs, to serve as a bouncer. I was overjoyed. Herr Master Hasselhoff, guten Abend, Sie geht's. I handed him my pamphlet, and he signed it for me. Then he grabbed me by the crotch, and he threw me out the window. Well, that was darned effective, I thought, as I was passing through. This grabbed me by the crotch, and he threw me out the window. Yes, it seems defenestration works on me as well as you. Everyone, happy children singing about fighting. Just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. A lovely way to get above whatever makes you blow. Just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. It's amazing what a little flick of wrist and arm can do. Grab them by the crotch and throw them out the window. Available wherever violent books are sold. Ole! I sometimes forget because I am the one doing it. Exactly how this stuff sounds to people who have not encountered it before. Or to people who have encountered it less times than I have because I am the one who's doing it. I look forward to the day when I would actually be able to perform this at a festival, possibly Sherwood, possibly Scarborough, possible TRF, in the presence of Master Hasselhoff. Especially when we get to that last verse. Because I don't know if he's heard the addendums yet. And I'm rather looking forward to seeing him trying desperately to maintain character, while all those about him are just kind of losing their stuff. This is part of why I do this. I do this specifically to see the eyebrows and the spit takes and the... If I can make just one person pass beverage through their nose, I feel I have done my job. Oh, so... Feeling good so far. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, where I met Claire was a muck, and you could make programs that would basically run macros, randomized macros, and there was one that Claire wrote called Window, where you could basically say that your character has decided to throw itself out the window, and random things will happen. You know, JD, if we talk about it, I'm pretty sure we can figure out how to do it, but it would have to be when he's got like all those wood chips, you know, all that the hamster pit, and I probably will need knee and elbow pads because I'm kind of a big guy. I can get thrown, but it does take a little prep on the part of all involved. I am probably 3 times as heavy as he is. He could still probably kick my butt in a real fight, but I could fall on him, and that would end the fight quick. In MMA terms, that's called sprawling. Okay, anyway. I love it when people from various aspects of my life interact with each other who have not done that before. Claire, JD, Claire. Y'all get along fine. I do have knee pads, and I've got the pants that are big enough now that I've got big enough pants that I could actually hide those, because I got like the drywallers knee pads. Elbow pads, I could probably do like a forward roll flip. Now, see, this is where we're just getting completely distracted. I'm just going to put that away for a minute. Completely distracted by the logistics of throwing the Tobias through the air into a fairly uncontrolled environment. Yes! I have enormous trousers, yeah. I have great big trousers. You don't actually... I was about to say, you don't actually need me here, do you? But you kind of do, because I'm the one hosting it. The last song. I kind of don't want this to end, which is the way it's supposed to work. See, when I started doing this, back in a year ago last November, when I did my first Troubadork shows at Steampunk November, I had to keep an eye on the clock because I would just keep going until such time as someone said, "Get off the stage." Otherwise, which is exactly the show that I want to do. I think it's kind of glorious. Well, yeah, without me, y'all wouldn't be here. Without me, yep. We could probably, you know what we'd have to do here, Joes? We'd actually have to have... I'd have to get thrown out a window or possibly into... If I get thrown through a window into a building, that would actually be easier to manage. I can't believe we're having this conversation seriously, but we're all thinking about the logistics here. All of us Ren geeks are going, oh, well, you know, we could probably do that. Just pile up a couple of mattresses on the inside and just go right through there. Just use waxed paper for the windows because that's historically accurate. Just right through there. Yeah, absolutely. I love us. In the words of an old friend who's no longer with us, we kill us. We could do a Zoom session, probably. That would be really weird and fun. All right, but I should probably, if I'm going to maintain the illusion that I'm actually having a half-hour show with some structure to it, I could probably do it, and if we do it, we are going to record it, because whether it works or not, it's going to be hilarious in either direction. We have to have somebody else do the Wilhelm scream. I don't think I can do that and fly at the same time, but we'll see. Who knows? The last song was actually written when I was coming back after a couple of days of coming back from the last actual other people are around gig that I had a year ago last March. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. I'm only one man. And that was at Texas Furry Fiesta, where I did my show. And I did the magic show once and the music show twice, and I had a great time with all of it. It's like, you know what? I need something that'll work for anthropomorphic fandom conventions. And then this kind of occurred to me, and I realized that just how much of this song would carry over into all kinds of conventions and stuff. So when we're actually allowed to gather together again, I'm gonna do this. It finally happened to me. I found someone I didn't think it could come true, but I found me a life companion, so the same thing could happen to you. I mean, our life together is wonderful. Think we're gonna get serious soon. We really got a good thing going, but it gets real freaky when we had a full moon. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo. It's like I'm awake in a beautiful daydream, yo. They really have improved my days. I'm still really startled they found me here. Guess we'll have to see how all this plays. They do all kind of cute things that I adore. This relationship is gonna go far. I mean, I get all squishy when they stick their head out of the window when we're driving my car. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo. Now, I ain't saying that things are perfect here. No, the challenges will always be there. But we work our way through our problems now, and it usually kind of all turns out fair. I mean, I don't like fighting my partner now, so I learned me this one little trick. If things get angry and we get into a fight, all I gotta do to win is throw a stick. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo. So now you know the crazy here story here. How my life is just flipped right upside down. I'm silly, my mind's not too clear. Gotta know that I ain't wearing a frown. I mean, I know that I hit me the jackpot, y'all. That's a reason why I'm singing this song. And although we know it could take a lot of work, the little single little thing's gone right. Oh, yeah. Hairball. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo. Woo. How with me? Woo. And so we come staggering in sideways, burdened under far too many grocery bags, tripping over the dog bone pillow left lying in the hallway like some kind of barbarian, face planting directly into the potted plant that is the Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show. Thank y'all for hanging out with me here. Without y'all here, what I do makes even less sense. Let's be honest about this. I could get into all kinds of trouble with werewolf roleplayers, and that's okay. Because you see, as you know, as many of you know, I have no sense of peril anymore. None. Lost in a card game in the 80s. We will continue to do this until such time as normality or something close enough to normality is achieved, and I am required to go back to the day job on a regular basis, in which case we'll do this on the weekends. So let's do a few things. Again, thank y'all for hanging out with me, because honestly, without y'all here, ain't nothing. I got nothing. Thank you so much for hanging out, Luxen. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. It will confuse them. Tell your enemies. It'll really confuse them. Plugs and stuff. Tip jars up there. PayPal.com/theadequate. Venmo at @SignTheAdequate. Eric, Robert, Rick, Emily, and Miranda have all been very generous to me in that capacity, as have my increasing number of I don't even understand it. My Patreon group's getting bigger. And that's JD, Joe, Alexi, Austin, Chris, Teppo, Shay, Linda, Ann, Stephen, Rob, Alicia, Relly, BK, Kaylee, Richard, John, Brian, Lorene, my Party On, Party Down, Patreon, patron people. Any money that comes in to me through any of this stuff goes right back into this show. We are now paying for a slightly higher level. We're actually doing a paid level of Restream right now because there was some weirdness with Facebook earlier. We are paying basically the hosting for theadequate.com. Also, technology like this little Stream Deck thing over here that I got that I push buttons on, the webcam that I'm using, tuners, strings, talent, that kind of thing. In exchange for which, Patreon people get previews of songs. Some songs I will probably never perform in public. They get buttons and ebooks and stickers and real books. And the $10 a month level is the You're So Darn Smart. You tell me to write a song about something, and I do. And I perform it here. God help us all. The $2 a month is the world's cheapest ad budget. So if you have a service, a person, a thing, anything you want to promote, and you're throwing $2 or more at me through Patreon, let me know. I will put it in the crawl down here. So that's all of that. The archives are all living over at facebook.com and twitch.tv/TobiasTheAdequate, youtube.com/MPLEGARE. I will catch that up. It gets updated at the end of the week, but it has all the videos because this happens every freaking day for 4 days a week. SoundCloud.com is where I get all my keep all the recording stuff that I've actually put effort into recording. I've got some podcasting stuff over at anchor.fm/theadequate, and we are working on the Institute for Irate Science project. That's going to be a series of 10, possibly 11 weekly updates. If you're curious about that and want to participate, this is basically a very laid-back thing. Hit me up on the book face, and I will link you into the group there, and you can see what kind of madness we're getting up to. I'm at The Adequate on Facebook, at The Adequate on Twitter. I am Tobias The Adequate on TikTok. Yes, I have a TikTok now. I know. I also have THUD Bucket, the mighty THUD Bucket. We have sold a grand total of 3 albums through thudbucket.bandcamp.com, but we are also available on every streaming service that has the word music in it, including Spotify, and we're also on YouTube, and we're also on Facebook, and we're working on more videos for the album, which is WTAF, and we even sell those masks with WTAF on them. Here is one of them now. See this? You can be safe and angry at the same time. Dig it. Absolutely. All right. That's it. That's everything. I try to get that through that stuff because it just seems a little tedious to me because I do it all the time, But that's okay. Thank y'all for hanging out with me once again. Without y'all here, I would just be a man sitting in a room shouting into a box and just don't need all this expensive stuff to do that. You can get a box pretty cheap, probably when you think about it. So be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Be safe out there if you have to be out there. Be kind. If you can't be kind, be civil. If you can't be civil, be careful. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Y'all have been wonderful. I have been Tobias the Adequate. Thank you once again for encouraging my behavior. I will see you next time.